Welcome to Fertilish, the podcast where we get real about fertility, infertility, and everything in between. I'm Laura.
And I'm Brandis. And whether you're knee-deep in treatments, just starting to ask questions, or somewhere in the ish of it all, you're in the right place.
Here we ditch the stigma, break down the science, and have candid conversations about the messy, emotional, and sometimes hilarious journey to growing a family and preserving your fertility.
So grab your coffee, your meds, or just your curiosity, and let's get into it. Hey guys, it's Brandis. I'm the nurse practitioner at our Colorado Springs clinic at CNY.
And I'm Laura. I am a physician liaison with CNY Fertility, and we are super excited to be introducing you to the Fertilish podcast.
Yeah, so this is a pretty new thing for both of us and CNY in general. I don't think there's ever been a podcast here before. Usually, I feel like I do a lot of the clinic side of things, procedure side of things, Instagram and TikTok, and the idea of a podcast came up, and I think it'll be really cool to start. And Laura, this was your idea for a while, right?
Yeah, I actually dreamt of having a podcast with my husband about fertility. Being a fertility patient, I've kind of been through the thick of it with getting support from other fertility patients, obviously just the fertility community as a whole. And so, I thought that it was really important to share what I had gone through and learned through that process with other people. And it's been very healing and cathartic for me to now work in fertility and to be able to help other people. And so I don't know, I really wanted, I didn't feel like that there was a lot of fertility podcasts out there from the couple's perspective, but my husband is less open about our journey than I am.
Yeah.
So he was like, not about that. But anyway, so one day I was just like, hey, this would be a great idea, and Brandis would be the perfect person to do it with. So here we are.
Yeah, and I think, you mentioned that about your journey and how it being it's comforting to know that there's a community there behind you. And I think fertility, it's such a different area of medicine because a lot of it is Instagram, TikTok, and you don't really see that with other areas, which
Agreed.
Is cool because there is a big community.
Agreed.
At the last work conference actually we went to, there's a social media summit where you learn different things, and there was a podcast section, and I didn't even go to it because I was like, oh, I would never do it. That will never be me. I'm not a talker. I can make a quick Instagram video and be fine. But yeah, so I'm excited to start this and
Me too.
Kind of even grow our community even more and humanize kind of fertility treatment and what it's all about.
Absolutely. Absolutely. My husband always says that if you have the unfortunate experience to be a part of the fertility community, there's no better community to be a part of, because we have met some incredible friends along the way, either other fertility patients or people that work in fertility. And so we've made some really amazing friends along the way that have supported us so much. And some of them we've never even met in person. And so that's when things like social media come into play, and how you can, be in a Facebook group at 11 o'clock at night, I'm having these symptoms, and people just come to your rescue and support you, uplift you, calm you down, talk you off the ledge. And so, we really want this podcast to be that for you too. If it's 2 a.m. and you're like, I think they recently did a podcast about this, let me go back and listen to that. And, we want to be able to ease your fears and give you information and just, be a support system for you.
Yeah, I think that's great. And I think also, you get to know us. So if you're a patient at CNY, if you're not, totally fine. But if you are, then it's cool because like I said, I work in Colorado Springs. So you get to meet us a little bit before you actually come here, and you get to kind of see what we're about and who is going to be seeing you. So that's another cool part.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we I couldn't ask for a better company to work for. CNY is just incredible as a community, as a community in itself, even within the fertility community. And so I think that, I think it's really important to be comfortable with who you're meeting, where you're going. It's a big decision on, who you're entrusting with whether you're preserving your fertility or you're seeking fertility treatment for your family building, I think that it's really important to trust and be familiar with. And we know, a lot of patients are going to be traveling for treatment. And so they may not just get to walk in and meet us until day of the procedure. So I think that this is a great way for them to familiarize themselves with CNY as well.
Agreed. And you actually, so you can be a patient of CNY. You don't have to be a patient of CNY for this podcast to apply to you. You actually don't even have to be in fertility treatments at all. So we plan to cover all things fertility. So whether that be birth control, freezing eggs, irregular menstrual cycles, freezing your eggs or your sperm before doing chemotherapy. So we plan to cover it all. So you don't actually have to be trying to conceive or even at CNY Fertility for this podcast to be helpful to you.
And I think that it's important for family members and friends of patients actively going through all of the things that you just talked about, to be able to feel like this is a safe space for them as well, and in case they want to support their loved ones on their journey. And so I think that we want it to encompass that community as well, because there's so many myths out there about fertility or things that people say to fertility patients that we would rather not hear,
Yeah.
So we want it to be a space for everyone. You don't have to be like you said, you don't have to be a patient of CNY. I think that there's something for everyone here.
Yeah, and then as far as when we will be releasing these episodes, I think we decided on Tuesdays, right?
Yeah, every Tuesday. Super excited.
Awesome. So, yeah, every Tuesday, you guys will get a new episode. And then I think, Laura, you've started building, or we have a website, right, with this, where they can access information about the podcast and write in?
Yeah, absolutely. So cnyfertility.com/fertilish will be our landing page. So there'll be lots of information about Fertilish on that landing page. And then you'll also be able to write to us. So there'll be a jot form there where anytime we have a call to action, or if you want to write in and ask a question, or if you want to make a suggestion for the show, so you'll be able to communicate with us that way. And we'll be monitoring that inbox that those forms come to. So I'm super excited about having that interaction with our listeners.
Yeah, and I think so starting out, obviously we're going into it with topics, but I think it would be cool eventually if we do get enough questions, which I think we will, because that fertility community is pretty big and you don't learn about this stuff in school and health class and anything. So if we get enough maybe episodes where you guys can write in and all we do is answer your questions. So that would be cool as well. But I think this will be new for both of us. Like I said, neither of us really have done this before, and I'm excited. I think it'll be new for us, new for CNY, new for patients, and a new way for us to connect. So I'm excited to do this.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited too. And definitely we want to have guests on. So we plan to have guests on. So, we had spoken about, having embryology come on. And so we have all things embryology. Hopefully we can get Dr. Kiltz to join us.
Yeah, that'd be good. Embryologist, andrologist, maybe a patient who wants to share success stories. So I think it'll be exciting for us, for CNY, and you guys. So we're excited to start this.
Likewise. Absolutely. So, we definitely would love for you to subscribe to follow us on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, and leave us a review. Let us know, what you want to hear about. And then definitely check us out on the website, www.cnyfertility.com/fertilish. And then Instagram, TikTok. You can see reels, clips of our episodes on Instagram, on CNY's Instagram, and our own Instagram page, Fertilish Podcast. Follow us, CNY, on TikTok. We're all the things, Facebook.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're excited to get started, and we will put out the next episode in a week.
Yep. All right. See you then.